And the next level, I'm going to be showing off the R9F Andralis. ARM class control unit prototype fighter. Even after rollout of the R9A, this test fighter continued to be equipped with a force control device. Although not part of the original specifications, these models are provisionally rigged with a shockwave cannon. The force control device are actually the arms on the top and bottom of the ship that are designed to grab and control the force directly. This was done before the force control arms on the force itself were developed, hence no longer needing these arms on the ship itself. This has the shockwave cannon. This weapon triggers massive and sudden energy release within an enemy target. Nearby targets are also damaged by the resulting explosion. The wave cannon exploits the same technology found in the trans-dimensional navigation targeting systems used for warp jumps. So this actually makes your target explode. The rodless force, because it doesn't need rods on the force if it has its own control arms. A prototype for the next generation force. The tentacle laser prototype was instrumental in developing the tentacle force. Then of course the shadow bit and scatter bomb, neither of which are too unique. Stage 2. Put our speed up. Not the most dramatic ship, but it's an interesting stage in the developmental life of the trans-dimensional fighters. So the Shadow Force on this one actually does more damage. Or not the Shadow Force, the Shadow Bits. Actually do more damage than a traditional bit device, which is mostly just good for shielding you. And I can continue to get yellow if I so chose. It is significantly better than the yellow. I guess it's situational. Better than the yellow force on the previous fighter I had. So depending on difficulty, I believe you can stand in walls and such. Or you can collide with walls without actually taking damage. Which is very helpful. You can just waggle this thing back and forth. Oh, this is interesting. You can't die anytime. Thank you. So the blue actually only shoots up, but then after it hits, it like rains down. I don't like it here. I was scared that he was going to... close up. Thank you for opening doors. You had me scared for a second. I really want yellow. I kind of do, actually. This is kind of a pain in the butt, boss. So I went ahead and kept red in this fight. Because attacking behind you is kind of imperative. Like having good, strong, backwards-facing damage is kind of imperative. If you go into this without a force that can, like, attack, a good force that can attack behind you, you're just kind of out of luck. So he's going all the way. should go up. Yes. I'm just gonna wait down here for a moment. Okay, we made it. So they are spitting out the little yellow orbs that turn into the tentacles. That's their primary attack. Be very careful of them. We're going up. Okay, we got one. So if you wait too long, then they kind of move into a hyperspeed mode. Still behind me. They can flip around. He's getting low. God dang it. If they're moving faster, it is less likely that they manage to get an orb in near the beginning of the right-hand side of the stage, which is... There we go. Which actually makes the second part easier than the first, I think. They can flip around sometimes. Next up, we're using the RX10 Albatross. Jointly developed by the military and fighter manufacturer McGuire Industries to test a new type of force. It is equipped with a shockwave cannon that incorporates technology found in a transdimensional navigation targeting system and is capable of detonating enemies from within. So this actually sounds like it uses the shockwave cannon, the same one as the previous force. However, its force is the tentacle force. A metallic tentacle is attached to the control rod using synapse relays. Force energy is distributed through the tentacle. It features better laser control and defense. This is actually one of my favorite ones. I don't know how effective it is, but I just think it looks neat. And round, bit, and scatter bomb, and you can see which other bombs and bits they actually have access to. Stage 3. I like this force, specifically because it does this. I remember this is one of the levels that was actually criticized for its aesthetics. Everything just looked too clean. These guys don't heckin' die. These tanks take friggin' forever to die. There we go. I really like this force, though. Presumably this does more damage. There we go, got it. Presumably it does more damage if you focus the beam, but I'm not actually confident in that. I remember this stage getting some criticism early on. It just looked too clean and, like, and, like, I understand clean was their intention, but it made it look too... almost like a plastic model. Hey, buddy, can you leave me alone? Cool. There's a lot of bullcrap going on. Okay, we got blue. Blue I also really like. Because you can get a wide shot, but if you pull back, you can also get a focus shot. It's mostly yellow that I don't like with this one. So those ships cannot hit you. There are these that are going to be flying down on the right of the can. Force on this other side. Bah! Hey, Postnaka here. So I was hoping to hold out a little bit longer than this before I needed to start post-commentary. But as it turns out, these levels are getting quite difficult. And while it's not necessarily a matter of my focus and not being able to commentate over it at the same time, and more so an issue of it took me a dozen or so attempts in order to beat this stage. And that's probably going to be about where we are going forward. Like a lot of the R-Type games, a lot of it is figuring out, like almost like a puzzle, figuring out how to go about things, and it has been a little while since I played through these stages. So I have to relearn that puzzle. So I decided to go back with the blue lasers instead of the red, because the blue doesn't do as much damage as the red, but you can lock onto enemies with it. All you have to do is hit them with the laser, and the laser will continue attacking that enemy. That way you can move around as need be, focus on dodging, and the enemy will eventually die. So that got us going down from above. Right around here, be careful, because a couple of these enemies will come out from behind you. They will only shoot twice, so make sure to dodge those 2 shots before actually ducking behind to kill it real quick. I'm out of chaos right here with the cannons coming down from the top. You can take the cannons out fairly quickly, though, so with them done, just focus on dodging and you can take out everything else. We have a brief calm moment here. I like how as soon as you move into open space, you actually see the ship's thrusters change. So I made the choice to move the force to my back end here, which means the enemies coming down in front will still be able to shoot at me, so I'm just going to have to focus on dodging because I don't have the force to help me with that. But it's better to do it there than later, because you're not going to have a lot of freedom to move later on. Thankfully, the charge shot from this ship is pretty good at taking these cannons out in one good shot. So you're going to be moving backwards throughout this whole section, so you are going to want your force on the back for pretty much all of this. Some enemies will still come from the front, though, where you are most vulnerable, so be prepared to dodge and charge shot as necessary. A couple things you can destroy back there, such as the actual platform that lowered down. Destroying it doesn't really change much, though. Now that we're on the back of the ship, you can switch the force around to the front to take out the remaining cannons. That gray ship there is the one that you can destroy in order to show off the different colored orbs, collect the different colored orbs to change you to different stages. This is where the stage split is. And that brings us around to the boss. Not a terribly difficult boss, though I have died here in a couple ways, to fairly dumb ways. It works much like the boss from the ship fight in R-Type Final, where the piston comes out, shoots, and when it comes back in, yeah. It comes out and shoots, and then goes back in, and then reveals its weak point. The lasers do give just a little bit of a red glow as a heads up they're about to fire, otherwise you just have to worry about the enemies coming in from the side. So I'm going to be showing off as clean a run as I can, but even given that, I will still be showing off a death or two. Just assume from here that it took approximately 12 attempts to get through every stage. And I'm going through this from the beginning every time. Because otherwise I start back at a halfway point with no power-ups whatsoever. Look, every R-Type needs a ship stage. It's like a law.